This is Car Guys Talk with Andrew and Tavarish.
Hey everyone, how you doing? Hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. Do you wish them a good day? My name is Freddie Hernandez, and you may know me as Tavarish if you're wishing everybody a fantastic day. And the guy across the table from me that has his mouth sewn shut is Mr. Andrew Howell, my partner in crime.
Strong open.
Yeah, strong.
Yep.
Strong. It's the morning, and I, just like you, am a very big morning person. I get all my stuff done in the morning, like getting up and
I'm just a big person.
Good. That's a good thing to do.
Probably not.
No?
Probably for my health, not really that good.
Well, the more you live, the more you grow. That's what Grandma always said.
Or in my case, the more you eat, the more you grow.
That's true as well. So for you guys that are watching this on video, our video is going to be kind of all over the place just because this is the morning and it's cloudy and there's some
intermittent sun.
Some intermittent sun. So
that's a good band name.
So intermittent sun. That's not it's a good band name for a not such a good band. Are you gonna go see Intermittent Sun? Like, nah, they suck.
Not this time.
So I saw them last time. They weren't really good. So the sun kind of blows everything out sometimes, but that's gonna be okay. I have some announcements to make. I finished Malambo.
You did, yeah.
Malambo here.
You want to borrow my hat so you can do that?
I need to get a hat, so I just got to say Maduli, Malambo, yeah.
My Bentley.
My Bentley. That doesn't roll off the tongue. My Ferrari. No. It's Malambo and Maduli. That'd be good. So it's done
Mostly.
somewhat. I mean,
Ish.
no project is.
Have you like taken it out on a drive yet?
No, not yet.
You should do that.
I should. And the reason why I haven't is because it is not registered yet, and I don't want to ride dirty in a car that nice. So
yeah, but I'm saying like you could like just
I could yes
up and down a road out here.
Sure, I could, but the thing is, I've already done that in a video, and what I want to do.
I'm not saying in a video. I'm just saying just for your.
Yeah,
own.
but if I don't do it in a video, people are gonna be like, "Why don't you tell me what it's like?" So I want to do that for the viewers. This is a car for the viewers. I don't want to experience the joy of driving this Lamborghini if everybody can experience the joy of driving this Lamborghini through my senses and camera and microphone. So that is coming up. Hopefully I can get that done in the next few weeks, and then we could do like a subscriber reveal, and we could do like this nice cinematic finale type thing. That's going to be really cool. But the car is done. The only thing that I have to do is there's some panel gaps in the back that aren't 100%, so I need to get those 100%. And also there is there's still the top issue, like the clamshell doesn't, like it stops. So I can get the top open and closed manually, but just I need to figure something out. So it's not 100%, but it's done enough that I can move on to other things. And I'm thinking of, I mean, you tell me what you think. What if I just do all the projects at once? Like just
kind of go through like, boom, boom, like in order, like do a thing on this car, then this car, then this car, and then rinse, repeat.
Yeah. Basically like whatever comes up, that's what's going to come up.
I think that would be cool because it adds a lot of variety, which has been lacking the past 9. Again, it's not your fault. Like
No, I've been doing the same car, and people are like, "You're milking the series." I'm like, okay, so there's just a lot of work, and sometimes parts come in late, and they don't come in at all, and like you don't have any solutions for any problems.
Or you have to make your own parts, which is not like a 15-minute thing. It's like a multiple day.
Well,
thing.
I can't go to the dealer and make parts, right?
You can't go to the twin turbo Lamborghini dealership.
I cannot go to the twin turbo Lamborghini dealership. They're like, hey, can I get a custom harness? Here you go. Wow, that's great.
That was quick.
So that's something that I feel like with these projects coming up. I've seen some other YouTube channels where they have like 2 or 3 projects and they seem to be doing okay. So as long as I keep people updated, I think that should be all right.
I mean, Adam LZ has like 9 project cars ongoing, and he's always jumping back and forth between all of them. So,
but Adam also does daily videos, and he's that's more of a vlog type thing. Like I want to do a little bit more, not necessarily cinematic, but something a little more. Kind of
a little more planning gone into it.
Yeah. Just a little more prep. Not like, hey guys, I don't know what we're gonna do today, but just stick around. We're gonna do some food reviews and legit food review. Yeah. So that's what I want to do. But I'm really excited for the next projects coming up. The Ferrari and Bentley and
Girl, let me tell you, oh my God.
Yeah. So
you guys are seriously not ready for this.
Yeah. It's unlike anything I've done.
Unlike anything you've ever seen.
So let's segue into something into my last video as of this recording.
Yes.
My last video, and it was about the Dust Ball Rally.
Yes.
Right. And people said, "Oh, well, is this your new project?" It's like I was on the Dust Ball Rally, which is a 2,000-mile epic road trip from New England to New Orleans, and I drove my buddy Jared Pink's Lexus ISF. It had like 200,000 miles on it. It was like the cheapest one in the country. He paid like $12,000 for it at the time, and. Yeah, people were asking, is this the project? Like, no, that's not the project.
Not even close.
No, not even close. That's like the most pedestrian thing you can get. But I love that car, and I want to do something with that drivetrain. But speaking of that, I think we can get into something like road trips in general.
Yes.
A lot of people take road trips. I take some road trips every once in a while.
I want to take some road trips.
You've taken some road trips in your day.
In my day, yeah, but in the past like decade, no.
Okay. Would you want to do one?
Yeah, like tomorrow. Let's go.
No, like in the next month or so.
Yeah.
To maybe pick up this car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe do some stuff along the way. So
yes.
So I was thinking we can take take Medulla.
Medulla.
Yeah.
Medulla oblongata.
That's right. We could take Medulla. We could just call it oblongata. That's and people will get it. So we could take that truck and then go pick up the car and then drive it back. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure something out. I think there's a road trip in there somewhere. But since there's a road trip potentially coming up,
yes,
I wanted to talk a little bit about what is, how do you survive a road trip? Because road trips sometimes are hard. They're boring depending on where you go. It's not all twisty mountain roads. Sometimes it's just like Iowa. And it's just like cornfields for the next 12 hours.
Well, that's a nice cornfield right there. Let me tell you.
Right. So, how do you survive that? Like, what's your go-to thing for road trips? I mean, we've been to South Carolina, to pick up the Viper, and we just talked. But when you're on something like a cross-country road trip,
right?
Like, what do you do?
So for me, I guess. Are we talking as a driver or as a passenger or just in general?
Both. Because, you can't, unless you're with somebody who doesn't have a driver's license, you're probably going to be switching out.
Of course.
Yeah.
So let me see. Well, obviously, music. That's huge. For me specifically, that's huge.
Yeah. Do you switch around music a lot? Like, do you listen to one track and then like before the track is done, you're like, I want to listen to something else?
Oh, no. Usually when I listen to music, I
listen to the whole album.
The whole album, yeah. I'll just go all the way through it. So there's that. There's also like podcasts. I pretty much only listen to one podcast.
This one.
No.
Imagine like you listen to yourself like, oh, that was a great one. That was, remember that time I did this?
No, like for me, the podcast that I subscribe to that I watch on a regular basis is called Critical Role. It's a Dungeons and Dragons podcast.
Okay.
It is a bunch of professional voice actors playing Dungeons and Dragons together, and it's really awesome.
But do they play on the podcast?
Well, the podcast is their game, basically.
Oh, okay. So how do they... So I'm unfamiliar with Dungeons and Dragons, like 100%. Like what do you? So is it a visual medium? Like is it, or do they have to explain what they're doing?
Well, that's just how the game works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you listen to Dungeons and Dragons,
D&D, yeah.
D&D.
Yep.
And then
lots of music.
And what else?
And then if I'm riding shotgun, the essentials are phone charger.
Right.
Because I'll be on my phone.
But listen, if you're in Iowa and cornfields, you don't have any phone,
which is fine because at that point I would have games on my phone that don't require internet connection.
Oh, okay.
So
At no point do you just talk to the person next to you.
Well, of course, that's an option. I thought we were going past the conversation and.
Oh, when the conversation has gone flat,
Yes.
and then you've already exhausted. You've yelled at people for your political views, and you're like, "We just need to shut up for a second, okay? Let's just enjoy this." Can't believe you said that.
Yeah, so games on the phone. If I'm really like preparing, I'll download movies and put them on my phone.
Movies,
And so I'll have my headphones. I can watch movies, to kind of pass the time.
that's a power move. Watching movies on your phone. That's especially if somebody else is in the car with you. It's like, it's like some
If the person driving wants to listen to music and it's not music that I want to hear, I'm gonna put my headphones on. I'm gonna blare some movies or something
Right.
else.
But what happens if they don't want to listen to music and you're just watching a comedy and you're just like,
Well, at that
So
point,
funny.
I would probably connect the phone to the speaker via aux cord or Bluetooth
And
so that they
that-
could at least listen.
right. And then they look over to look at the,
And then we die.
and then they hit a family of, orphans that are somehow driving. But so that okay. What about food? Like food is probably a big thing. Do you do the Cracker Barrel? Do you do that stuff? Do you just get gas station potato chips or something?
So on road trips, I typically stick to really simple food, like just like beef jerky, water. Mm-hmm. That's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. Like, well, okay, so
I don't want anything that will upset my tum.
okay. Well, beef jerky. The problem with beef jerky is like an 8-ounce bag costs $7 million. It's so expensive.
It is. Well, when I say beef jerky, I guess I mean mostly the like meat sticks, meat product sticks.
So funny you should say that. On the Dust Bowl rally, we went to I think it was West Virginia, and there was
Mountain Mama.
Sure. Take me home. And there was a 5-pound bag of pepperoni meat sticks, but it was made like locally.
Sure.
And that's what we were eating for the next, I think, 4 days.
Oh yeah, no, that's
It was just like, and it was good. It didn't upset our stomachs or anything. It couldn't have been great for us, but it was okay.
So here's the thing. Back when I was doing keto,
Yesterday. 3 hours ago when I was doing keto. Now you said meat sticks and I just want a burger.
No. So the bag of like beef jerky, like Jack Link's or like Oberto or any of those brands.
Those are not keto.
Correct. They have sugar in them.
Right.
The meat sticks, however, specifically Jack Link's XXL mild sticks, no sugar, no carbs, totally keto friendly.
Yeah.
I will kill like 3 of those in one go.
Right.
That'll be my meal.
Yeah. I mean, it just clogs your arteries like crazy, but it's okay.
I mean, anything on keto does that. To be fair,
Yeah,
you douse everything in butter.
I'm just gonna get a piece of bacon and just slather it in butter. And
I'm gonna dip my bacon in butter.
so, when I do road trips, I like to have everything. Like, do you bring pillows with you?
Pills?
Pillows.
Oh, pillows. No.
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 You bring pills? Like dude, you got pill? You holding?
No. I do not bring pillows.
Okay. Do you sleep in a car?
Not at all.
I can't. I don't think I've ever slept in a car.
I have as a child and like a very few times as an adult when I'm like just completely just gone, just exhausted.
So I should preface this. I have slept in a car like overnight. I've done that.
I
Twice.
have too as a kid.
Yeah, but not like I've done it as an adult.
Yeah.
I've done it twice and as an adult.
I don't think there's a car that's big enough for me to stretch out and do that.
Yeah. Okay. So, sleeping in a car is a weird thing. So I've probably talked about this on the podcast before, but this is one of the real early episodes. So it was me and Andrew Collins. He was a writer he still is a writer on Jalopnik. I was a writer on Jalopnik.
Wait, you were ready for Jalopnik?
I were.
You were.
I were. So we were doing the event King of the Hammers out in Johnson Valley.
I don't think I've heard this story because I feel like I would remember.
Okay. All right. So we were.
Because that's obviously our next power metal band name.
Yes.
King of
So
the Hammers.
King of the out. Yeah. King of the Hammers is an awesome event.
And a great album.
That it is. Wings of Steel by King of the Hammers. But it's an awesome off-roading event. It's just like these unlimited trophy truck buggy things that do desert racing and also like the most insane rock crawling. You know those like rock bouncing rigs that they go up and like these like sheer rock faces.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's what King of the Hammers is.
That's sick.
And Jesse Combs does it. You know Jesse Combs, right?
Nope.
Okay. She was on like a bunch of shows. She was on Mythbusters for a little while. She's like a girl mechanic car, enthusiast person. Anyway, so she does it, and you guys know who she is. So we went out there. We had a Ford F-150. It was a press truck, and it was like a 2.7 EcoBoost. It was a pretty nice truck. I think it was a extended cab or something. So we went. This was in LA, and I flew out to LA, and I stayed at Andrew's house. We packed up everything because we were going to camp out there. So what Johnson Valley is, it's just a big, like it's just desert. But they set up this thing called Hammertown, and it's literally like thousands of people just set up in this sort of like Forza Horizon type thing, Like you have parties going out. You have in the middle of the night, you have people going up on the ridge, just doing some off roading at midnight. You have just kind of drink beers with your buddies type atmosphere, and it's all in the desert, so no one can hear you scream. But it's not like that.
I've instantly lost any interest in doing this event.
No, it's real wholesome. It's fine. But we decided to camp out, and Andrew had a tent, and he had some sleeping bags and all that stuff. So I was like, I'd never really done camping before, but how bad could it be? As it turns out, well, you need to be prepared for some of the stuff. So we had this tent, and we set up the tent. And we had sleeping bags, but I realized that my sleeping bag was not there's different ratings for sleeping bags, for temperatures, right? So sleeping bags, if you're sleeping in, let's say, a Florida climate where it's, 70 or, dips below, 60s or something, you're probably fine in the sleeping bag that I had. What I needed was a sub-zero sleeping bag because in the desert, it gets below freezing at night. So that's one thing. I mean, a lot of people know this, but
Tavarish did not.
I did, but I thought the sleeping bag would kind of take care of it. And I was layered. I had like two sweaters on, two sweatpants. I had like double socks, all that stuff. I had a hat on, and you go to sleep and you're kind of like in your sleeping bag, and I was trying to go to sleep. And then it was getting colder and colder. And it dipped below. It was like, 38, 37, 36, 35. And it was like getting really, really cold. And Andrew, he had a Sub-Zero sleeping bag. And me, he said, oh, we can go get a Sub-Zero sleeping bag at some point. And I said, no, this should be okay. Like me, I don't know anything. Like I'm completely like, this is my first time. Like, yeah, I should be okay. I got some layers. And what you don't realize is that when you're asleep, you don't move. And when you move, you actually like expend energy and like you actually, warm yourself up a little bit. Mm-hmm. When you're sleeping, like your core body temperature lowers. So you're even colder when you're asleep. So I'm trying to sleep, and then like I wake up and I'm like literally shivering. I'm just like, I can't stop shaking. And I'm like, oh, oops. We'll flip that out. And like, but that's what I thought. I'm like, I might die. Like I might actually, like I might die. And it's like 3 a.m, which is the coldest part of the night.
Yes.
And I tell Andrew, like, Andrew's like really like in his element. He's fine. He's sleeping. I said, Andrew, I'm really cold. I'm gonna go in the car. And he's like, all right, whatever. Like just half asleep. I go in the car and I turn it on, and I just blast the heater. And it's a press car, so if the thing loses a quart of oil while it's idling for the next 6 hours, I didn't really care because again, it's a press car, and I'd rather the press car get some damage on it than me get some damage in my brain thing.
Or like, frostbite
or frostbite or whatever. Cause like I couldn't feel my extremities. Right. So I go in the car and it's not, we had stuff in the back, so I couldn't like recline. So it's literally like, trying to sleep in an economy class seat on an airplane. And then I'm trying to, kind of like, all right, this is not too painful. So I'll sleep there. So I ended up sleeping for 4 hours, and the car was fine. Actually, the amount of fuel that it used was like, it was so minimal. It was like less than, it was probably like 1/12 of a tank.
Wow.
Like it was nothing for like probably 6 hours. And no, I didn't put the exhaust pipe wasn't near anybody, and it wasn't like giving anybody carbon monoxide poisoning. That would have made him sleep a little better, actually. No, it wouldn't. But that was my first time sleeping in a car, and I didn't feel refreshed when I got up, but I felt good enough that I was like, well, at least I'm not gonna die. So Ford saved me there, and the second time I slept in a car was also in a Ford F. It wasn't an F. It was sort of. It was in a Raptor. So the Raptor we had. It was me and David Tracy from Jalopnik, and we were doing a road trip from Detroit to Moab
with the Jeep.
Like,
yes.
With David's 1948 Willys CJ2A, and the CJ broke down somewhere in Kansas, and we were towing it with a U-Haul. So we did like a subscriber, reader meetup in Denver. And then from Denver, we had to haul all the way to Moab over the mountains. But the meetup was like at 8 p.m. And then we still had another, like we were driving the entire day. We worked on the Jeep. Like we put a new head on it that day. Okay, so here's that day, right? So we drove for a good, I want to say 6 hours. Then we went to a Advanced Auto Parts near Denver. They had a head gasket. We had to replace a head gasket on that Jeep. On that Jeep, it's really easy because it's a flathead. So it's literally just, the head is just a piece of metal.
Right.
So we go change it out. It's freezing. It's freezing in this parking lot. And we replace the head gasket. Jeep still doesn't run. Whatever. It's on the back of the truck. We do a subscriber meetup. It's like, by the time we leave, it's like 8, 9 p.m. And we still have another 5 hours to go.
Oof.
Over mountains, pitch black darkness, and we are pretty tired. So I'm driving. David's asleep. David can go to sleep like a bird. Like, like you just turn the lights off and then you just go to sleep. It doesn't matter where you are. You just, I wish I had, I'm insanely jealous of people who can do that. I don't know.
I can go to sleep really quickly if I'm in a bed.
Yeah, but he can go to sleep really quickly if he's in like the bank line, like he's like, oh, it got dark. Yeah. So he went to sleep pretty like really, really quickly. And I'm there just like listening to music, and it's real dark. We're going over this mountain pass, and at this point I think we decided to put 85, they have the octane rating. Their octane rating is 85 or regular. So we're like, what's the worst mileage we can get? So we were towing stuff. We had like a few thousand pounds of stuff in the truck, and then we were towing, and then we were going at altitude. So I think we got like 2 miles to the gallon on this truck. Like, we're definitely riding the knock sensors the entire time.
Oof.
But whatever, press truck, right?
Yep.
So
because press truck.
Yeah, because that's the same truck that Hoonigan used for their Baja. By the way, they're like jumping the truck. I'm like, I jumped that truck too. That truck looks real familiar. So we drove over this mountain pass, and I feel myself like a lot of people when they drive for a long time, they start to like nod off and fall asleep. Mm-hmm. That doesn't happen to me. What happens to me is I notice myself there's a real it's hard to concentrate. It's really hard. Like, I start trying to focus on something, and it's like it's really getting, I don't know, just difficult. There's like a difficulty of like there's a signal coming from my brain to the rest of my body. It's just getting stuck somewhere. So there's like a rest stop, and I go, David, I'm gonna stop over here, and what's gonna happen is we had to get there by the next morning because that is when the Jeep event was. We had a Easter Jeep Safari event where they unveil all the concept cars and all that stuff. And to get there, there's like some rock crawling sections that you have to go through. It's actually really cool. They do it every year. But in order to get there, before we had to get there, we went from Colorado to Utah, and then we had to unload the trailer, and we were staying in some guy's garage, and we also had to get kind of cleaned up and whatnot. So that all had to happen before we go to the Jeep event. And I told David, I'm like, how about this? We stop here at a rest area. We sleep for like 4 hours. Then we just drive straight and then just do that all quickly and then go to the Jeep event, And he's like, okay, fine. So let's do that. So then I slept in a fully, just full of tools and parts. And they all stunk because there's rear ends, differential oil, all that stuff. I could not, this is as much as I could recline. And I had another person in the car with me. And of course we had the car on the entire time because we're in the mountains and it was below freezing. But we just turned off the lights and just kind of went to sleep for like 4 hours. And that was probably the most uncomfortable I've ever been sleeping. But then a little bit of uncomfortable sleep is way better than no sleep. So then we go and do the event, and it was pretty fun. But that's I've never had like a good sleeping in a car experience.
I have only because I was a kid. When I was
when you're a kid, you're a lot smaller and you can kind of fit in a lot of places.
Yeah. When I was 5, this is back when I lived in North Carolina. We did a road trip, me and my parents, from North Carolina to Alaska and back.
Right. Yeah.
And we were in a 1990 Dodge Caravan. And the middle seat had been taken out for extra cargo space. So kind of rearranged some stuff, and I slept on the floor in the car as we were going on highways and stuff. So that was pretty cool.
So the floor is always cool when you're a kid. You're like, if you have an SUV or like a Caravan, and you're like, I can lay out here. But then you all realize, like, if you hit a pothole, like the floor is just smacking you in the face.
It wasn't that bad. I had a pillow at that point.
Wasn't that bad? You get smacked enough, you just start to forget.
I'm a really, really heavy sleeper. I always have been.
Oh, okay.
Like I've slept through like 2 earthquakes and a tornado.
Okay.
Just slept right through it.
That's actually that's a good thing to do. Because first of all, if something does happen, then it's not your problem. Correct. It's not your problem anymore. Yep. But like there's only an upside to this.
Yeah.
There's only upsides.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I could not experience a tornado, or it's not my problem. So, okay. So as far as like road trips go, just back on the topic, what I like to do is I kind of like to plan things ahead. So I want to make sure I have all the easy passes and sun pass and peach pass and all that. I don't.
Of course, yeah.
But stuff like that, I like to plan things out a little bit as far as like where we stop, because when I was doing the Detroit to Moab, we literally had no plan. It was like we'll go for like 300 miles and then find a hotel. That's it. Like if we don't find a hotel, then we don't find a hotel. And there was a point where we were driving for I think 12 hours, and we went to a city, and there was like some convention, some like weird insurance convention going on. They're like, we don't have any more hotels like in the city, and there was only like 3 hotels in the city. They're all on the same road. And we don't, there wasn't any hotels. And like, what's the nearest town? Oh, it's 2 hours away. Like, okay, 2 hours in a Willys CJ2A is like probably 4 hours. In 2 hours in a regular car it's 4 hours in a Willys CJ2A. It's like, oh my God. So I'm like, I was mad. I was pissed. And we end up getting to this place at 2 a.m, and then we have to leave at 9 or something. And you pay full. I think that if you stay like half the night, they should give you like a discount rate. Yeah. Like, come on. I got here like 2 a.m. Relax. Okay. So road trips are fun. I think we should take a road trip. I think we should go somewhere. You guys let me know what your favorite road trip thing is. Like, do you have any rituals? Like, I bring pillows with me. like just sometimes, because sometimes your back starts to hurt or whatever, just something like that. And pillows tend to help out, especially if you're in a car that has some more bolstering than necessary.
I will say that I went back up to Hilton Head, South Carolina for part of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And those Recaros in the ST, after about 5.5, 6 hours.
They ain't the best. They ain't the best. Yeah. So that's actually one quick thing. Sport seats are not like, I don't think I'll ever get a car with sports seats if they have an option for it, right? So I had a press car, a C63 AMG, and that had the carbon fiber sports seats, and it was actually in Florida. So we got the car in Orlando area. We drove down to Key West. It was me and my wife. And after like an hour, we had to pull over. We went to a supermarket. We got pillows because like this is insane. Like this is undrivable. This is really bad.
Yikes.
Yeah. So anytime you get like Mercedes sports seats are probably the worst sports seats you can get. Anytime you have the option, I would go for the regular ones just because you're not going to. This isn't a track. It's a 4-door car.
It's a Mercedes. First of all, like
it's their hot one, but
still,
it's not. It looks kind of cool, but you have to drive this thing, and it's a 4-door car. Just get the regular seats. It's fine. It's more the regular seats are more like the S-Class seats, so they're like kind of plush. And, and you can support them. But these like carbon fiber like race seats, like you don't need that. It's like, well, we have carbon ceramic brakes. Like, why? Why? Like you don't just to make the pads $5,000
because they want your money.
That's right. Okay. Because they want the money. So we're going to go on to some questions.
Some questions.
Some questions. And you guys send me some questions via Instagram. We'll probably do Facebook or something next time. But let's see what you guys wrote. Heavy Metal FL says, how is Babby form?
Who's that?
I don't know.
Me.
Yeah. How is Babby form?
Can't talk about that on this podcast.
Okay. DBR Sal says, do chickens have large talons?
I think it depends on the breed of the chicken.
That is true, yes. Jay's Jammin says, favorite vintage cars? That's actually a real car question.
Favorite vintage cars?
Yes.
Oof.
Okay, other than RX-7 FB. Because I know that's going to be on the top.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh man, big fan of 70s and 80s Lamborghinis.
So yeah, I was just gonna say that. I was just watching a Jay Leno's Garage where he was talking about his Lamborghini Espada.
Oh yeah,
and the Espada is like it's like a station wagon, really.
Sort of, yeah.
It's like a Lamborghini station wagon.
But it's really cool.
It is.
It's like an Italian Jensen Interceptor.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it had the V12 that they use for everything, but it had the V12 out of the sort of Miura, but that had different carburetors, had
right.
like, side drafter.
This is pre-Miura too, right?
No. It's post.
Oh,
so
okay.
Miura kind of started all of that.
Yeah, Miura started in '67,
something like that. So we'll show you what these cars look like, just so you guys know. What is it? Espada. Lamborghini
Espada.
Okay, so this is the Espada. It looks like a station wagon. It's like this weird hatchback looking thing.
It's like an Italian Mustang.
Yeah, and it's front engine. So
Yeah.
that's actually they didn't make a ton of front engine V12s, did they?
V12s? I don't think they did.
Yeah,
No.
but it's pretty cool.
I love it. It's ultra 70s, super cool.
Yeah, I mean they're definitely not making anything like this anymore. Look at that. That's awesome.
That's really cool. There's also the 350 GT?
The 350 GT was the first car Lamborghini ever made.
Correct.
So,
but I'm saying as far as like the similar kind of body style?
No.
Oh, okay. You're right. You're right.
This was.
I was thinking something else.
This is the screw you from Ferruccio Lamborghini to Enzo Ferrari.
Yes, which I think is a gorgeous
I make
car.
my own hotel.
I love the way this car looks.
This is Adam Carolla's actually.
Oh, man.
This is his. I don't know if he sold it or not, but I tried to help him sell one of these things on Jalopnik, and these things are. I saw this at auction. It's just fantastic looking. So they also made a 400 GT, and it's very. It was similar, just a little bit updated. You see, it just has the dual headlights, but then they went to the Miura, and the Miura is probably the nicest looking Lamborghini of all time. I'd say, like it's the most iconic.
I like it.
Well, no, it's not the most iconic. The Countach is probably the most iconic.
Yeah. As far as looks go, for me personally, I'm still a huge fan of the Yalpa. I love the Yalpa. I'm obsessed with the Yalpa.
But look at that.
I mean, I am not disagreeing that it's a good looking car.
Yeah.
But in my world, I would prefer to have a Yalpa just because.
Take a look at what the lights are.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
That looks.
That's what happens when you flip them up.
Yeah.
that is literally Kermit the Frog, the car.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the
Yalpa.
The Jalpa. I mean, Lamborghini had a bunch of like oddball cars.
That's such a cool looking car.
Yeah. Here's Doug DeMuro.
Yep.
It's not a bad looking car. I went on a rally once, and one of the guys had one of these.
Oh, I love
it. Had
that.
a V8 in it, and like that's the first time Lamborghini actually ever made a V8. I don't know if it was derivative of anything. I should probably know more about this, but it looked. This is literally just a Gallardo of the '80s.
It's a baby Countach.
Yeah, and it looks pretty good. I mean, I don't know why they didn't sell more. I don't think that they were horribly fast. I think they were like 200 something horsepower.
Yeah, they're not fast at all, to be honest. But I'm like, I could probably beat one in my Focus.
Yeah, you probably could.
But just the cool factor.
Yeah,
the vintage factor.
But there was also the Uraco.
Absolutely.
So this one was kind of also the baby Lambo.
Baby Miura, basically.
Baby Miura. And this one was, I think, it was supposed to be competition for the Ferrari
308 or like the 400
GT or something.
Yeah.
Or like the Dino or something. Yeah, it's also, this one was on the Top Gear, that whole...
Yeah, the unreliable car challenge or whatever it was.
It came there on a truck. It's not a bad looking car. I think it has some Di Tommaso Pantera
absolutely
look about it.
I love the back end of that car though. That looks so cool.
Yeah, it's not bad. I like the wraparound louvers.
Yep.
Really cool. And there's also something kind of really.
Ooh, yes.
The silhouette.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the silhouette is
Oof.
even more. It's more like the Countach. Well, this is like the Yalpa, but a little more Countach-y.
Yeah.
This has some like fender flares, and it has the phone dial wheels, and it's a little longer, and it just there are some bad angles to this car, but it is kind of striking. The eyes are a little far apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean they're taking some chances here, but this is a late '70s one, and I don't know. I mean I don't know if I'd own it. This definitely looks like a Di Tommaso Pantera. That is.
I see more Countach in that than I do Pantera.
Sure, I mean it's all the same design language, but that's all pretty cool. So I like that. And I saw Jay Leno's Garage about the Ferrari 308, and Ferrari 308 was Ferrari 308. Did you know that they made a 208?
No.
Yeah, they made a Ferrari 208. So a 308 was the car in Miami Vice or something like that. But this is a 208, and it's basically the same thing, but it had a 2-liter 8-cylinder, and it was I think it was made for different markets, or it was just smaller, made less power.
These look a lot like the 288s.
Yeah. So the 308 and the 288 were on the same chassis, I believe. So the 288 was the precursor for the F40.
F40, yeah.
Yeah, and this was the kind of the hot version.
Just a totally bonkers little car.
Yeah, but it looked a lot like the 308 and the 208. These aren't bad cars. I don't know what that is. 288. Is this a real car?
It's a 288 Evo.
GTO Evolution. I don't know. So I don't know if this is a real car. Maybe you guys can tell me.
It looks legit.
It looks.
I'm seeing more photos down here.
It looks like a real car. That doesn't. That looks that looks very Porsche slant nose.
Yeah, exactly. The 935 is it? Slant nose?
Yeah. So this is like a race car.
That's amazing. I love it.
I don't know that race cars had pop up headlights.
But they probably don't work. That's probably why it has those lights on the bottom.
Yeah, but why?
Ferrari was probably just too cheap to.
Then why even put the thing?
Oh, that wing is amazing.
That wing is amazing.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think that's probably like that's vintage. But then again, I think we might be dating ourselves because vintage. I mean, an F40 would be vintage.
Correct. Yeah.
An F40 is great. I don't think I've ever seen one in person. Have you?
I have. Yeah, multiple.
Oh wow. Yeah, well, I mean, they're pretty rare. Except for here where they're definitely not rare.
They're actually not that.
There's like a picture of like 100 of them.
They aren't that rare. They made like almost 3,000 of these.
No, they didn't.
Yeah,
3,000.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they made like 2,500 or more.
Okay, we have to look that up.
Just look at production numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, production numbers. 3,000 seems real high. Okay, so we're just gonna look it up. We're just gonna look it up right now. Total of 1,315
Okay,
F40s.
so over 1,000.
Yeah, over 1,000. So it's more than like the Enzo and the
Right.
F50 and all that stuff.
Which I've seen also in person, multiple of those.
Yeah, I've seen those, but I've never seen an F50.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, those are really cool cars.
Yeah. So what am I doing? What's going on here?
Don't hurt yourself.
So the F50, it's one of those things where you can't say it's a good looking car.
It's very indicative of the era in which it was made.
I don't think so. I think in the era it was a not a good looking car. The side profile is awesome. I think the side profile because it looks like it's just a race car, which is what it is.
Yes.
But this is not a good looking car. That is quite bad. Also, what is this? Is this a windshield wiper on the side?
I think it's some kind of deflector. I think you're also looking at this is a screenshot from a video game.
That is a screenshot from a video game.
Yep.
This is how good video games are. I can't even tell.
We are crossing the uncanny valley.
Yes. So here's a.
This might also be from the video game.
No.
I'm making a joke.
No, this is.
I'm making a joke.
No.
Make a joke, Frederick.
It's real.
Ooh, the GT.
Yeah, that's not bad.
The roof scoop.
The side profile is really nice. I will give it that. And the back,
booty. She got a nice booty.
Yeah, the back,
especially with
nice.
that wang.
Yeah, but the front is no.
Yeah, it's
that's real not good.
Like a red manta ray.
Okay, so that's probably the okay, so that's the favorite vintage cars,
which is just Lambos and Ferraris.
Lambos and Ferraris.
Lambers and Ferraris.
All right, we'll do one more question and then
Uno más pregunta.
Hellenic Spot says, is there any way whatsoever that I can get you to come to Greece for any reason? Greece flag and muscle emoji. You could reply through a DM if not on YouTube.
Hey, we're on YouTube.
Yes, we are on YouTube. So is there any way whatsoever? Yes. Pay for our tickets.
Yes.
And hotels.
Because all of our money has been spent on vehicles.
And also pay us to be there.
So that we can buy more vehicles.
A lot of money, please. No. I mean, I wouldn't mind going to Greece, but it's just cool. Like I don't have any plans to go. Yeah. So that's basically it. I don't know.
I got a lot of other places I want to go first.
Yes. It's like, where would you want to go? First, like Iran. Like, no, maybe not.
Japan.
Yeah, Japan. There we go. Like my number one spot, Burma. Like that's, ooh yeah. Okay, so we're gonna answer more questions in the next podcast. We're gonna talk about some more stuff in the next podcast, and hope you guys liked this podcast.
As much as you like the next podcast.
Yes, which is a lot because that's how.
Don't forget to smash that like button. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Don't forget to smash that notification bell. Don't forget to smash your potatoes.
That's right. So if you want to reach us, you can do so at carguystalk@gmail.com. All our social links will be down below. But until next time, this is me, Tavarish, for Andrew Howell, reminding you guys, as always, to
Wrench every day.
wrench every day, guys. You guys are the Ratcheteers. Remember that.
Nope.
Ratcheteers. You can be one too. And modding all our cars is the thing to do.